and today's podcast is about the WNBA mode. I'm probably not just going to talk about that for this episode because I know not many people that listen to the podcast. There's not many people that listen in general, but not many people listen are concerned at all with the W. But to those that are, I will speak about it a little bit. The mode is still the same mode. It's still free to play the way that the whole game should be. There is no VC to put into a build. And the cool thing this year is, well, it's controversial. I don't know if it's cool for everybody. The W Online is now an outdoor court in a forest grove. And if you want to look at it yourself, I will post a link to the Courtside report in the description so you can go and look. There's people saying, like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is there a court in the middle of the woods? And other people are like, hey, this is what 2K should be. It's a court, basketball, people playing. That's it. So I understand both sides. Honestly, my thing with the W mode is not even about the mode itself, but the female players that want to be able to play the rest of the game as a female but can't. And they should be able to. And that's what I want to speak about in this pod here. And earlier today on Twitter or X, there were people talking about how, the female player should be able to go into the city and play in the park games. Like, people will be satisfied if that's the only thing they add is female MyPlayers can now play in the city. People would love that. I'm seeing a lot of people saying like they should be able to do that. And my thing was what I added to this was EAFC or FIFA added woman players to Rec, Pro-Am, and My Team equivalent modes. EA NHL, which is a hockey game, did the same thing. And if you can have female MyPlayers in those games, you can do it in 2K as well. It's not a matter of not being able to, or it's not realistic. If other sports games can do it, and the sports games aren't suffering from it, then 2K can do it as well. And my longer explanation, which I will read, which I wrote all of this that I'm about to read, and I think it's a really good read, and I do want to put this out on the pod. So, my more detailed explanation on this is the difference between NBA 2K's approach to female player models and EAFC or EA NHL is 2K decided to implement WNBA's mode as a separate thing altogether. In other sports games mentioned, in the player builder you can assign your gender, but it's the same builder for everyone because it's the same game for everyone. We can play all the modes online together. And that's true. So as of NHL 23, there's been females in every mode. And as of EAFC 24, which is the most recent one, there's also females in every mode. So these past sports games added females into like one mode, and then it was into two modes. So they slowly added female players, female player models into the games little by little. Whereas 2K, they made a whole separate mode just for female players. It's a different approach, and I'm not saying it's the wrong one, but let me continue reading here. In the soccer game, I can slide tackle a girl as a guy, or be a girl and keep up speed with men if I have the attributes to match. In the hockey game, you can lay out girl players the same as guys. However, you can't get into fights with them, which I think is fine and makes sense. Unfortunately, because of how 2K is currently designed, your MyPLAYER is always tied to the NBA because of my career. The solution to implement female player models alongside the men player models online in all online modes is to remove my career from MyPLAYER. Have my career in WNBA be the men and women's offline NBA/WNBA modes. I used to think there should be restrictions to female models if they were to compete in modes like Rec or Pro-Am with male players, but over the years, seeing EA implement female models the way that they have, I no longer think they should be restricted to just park modes. At the end of the day, it is a video game, and the immersion isn't lost at all, with the proof being the other sports games mentioned. As long as the builders are the same and the two models play the same and there's no clear advantage or disadvantage to picking one gender over the other, I have zero concerns about female players' models being added to the city, park, rec, pro-am, and even my team. So that's my whole thought process on it. I think the WNBA mode is fine. It's whatever. It shouldn't be something that they want to continue as the only thing. The game needs to expand to allow female body types to be added into the builder that everybody else gets. It's time to mix them all up. It's time to do that. And I don't know why we're not doing it. I'm trying to think, like, it's not because of the body physics, it's not because of animations, because guys can use girl animations. They already done that. I don't know if it's about keeping it realistic, because, like I said, these other sports games do it. They do it the right way. Everybody, it's the same thing. It's just a different player model. Let the realism come from the people controlling the characters. So a good player is going to be a good player regardless of the player model they have, and the bad player is going to be a bad player regardless of the player model they have. If they have the same attributes, it's the same build, different genders, the better player is going to win regardless, and the worse is going to lose regardless. There should be, if that is what's keeping 2K from adding females into the normal online modes, I think that's really silly. And on the My Team side of things, they could honestly, I don't know how many female 2K players are out there that play My Team or would play My Team if WNBA players were added to it. But I do feel like they're losing a side of the market that for whatever reason they're not getting, or they don't want to include. I don't really understand it. In terms of actual changes to NBA 2K25 with the W mode, there's press conferences now. I'm not gonna act, excited for press conferences. It's tough. The mode doesn't seem like it's going anywhere exactly. And the coolest thing about the mode is you make your player, you play, and you level up. And that's the coolest thing about the mode, is that the mode is the way the whole game should be. And that is all I have to say about the W mode. Hey 2K community, are you a competitive player who likes money? Prove it on Gamer Saloon, the ultimate arena for NBA 2K players. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, Gamer Saloon lets you challenge players from around the world and win real cash prizes. So no more playing 1v1s to brag about it. Now you can get paid for winning. Gamer Saloon offers a seamless platform with various tournaments and head-to-head matches, perfect for every level of player. Listeners of the NBA 2K podcast can sign up today at gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. All one word, gamersaloon.com/ribpodcast. Link in the description. And the W, my players in general. Now, in terms of other news, we're going to have to wait until the week of August 19th. So that's next week for My Team news. And it does not mean that the news day will be on Monday. Most likely, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. They usually like to do stuff in the middle of the week. So that's that. There's no real. I mean, there's some ratings. There's some ratings, but I'm not really. There's steal ratings, 3-point ratings, dunk rating, driving dunk ratings, and that's basically all of the ratings that are out right now. Of course, the WNBA female ratings are out, the overall ratings, and that's basically it in terms of everything that I just mentioned. So I thought, what else could I do to fill out this podcast to make it interesting as well? And something came to mind: demo. Been seeing the word demo everywhere to do with 2K, and I've had to mute some people on social media. I've had to block some people. So let's talk about why 2K does not have a demo anymore, and why people should stop asking about demos. So a demo, if I'm going to explain what it is, it's basically a snippet, right? So the developers of the game are basically developing a mini game to release to the public called a demo, or in the past, what we've had was preludes. I don't know if people have been playing 2K that long, but the last time there was a demo, I think it was called a prelude. And I'm not sure that it was received badly or good or anything, but there's a reason. If you just look at every game, there's no demos. You might see like a stability beta, like a closed or open beta for shooters, for MMOs, for it's usually shooters and competitive games like that. They'll have like betas, and that's like a stability check. That's, to make sure everything is running properly before the game's release. And it's usually not a demo. It's usually the full game, or almost the whole game, but you only get to play for a certain amount, or up to a certain level, or only a certain mode, stuff like that. And I did a little bit of reading on this, and yeah, a demo is a financial risk, especially for NBA 2K. So if the game has a demo and people don't like the demo, people are not going to buy the game because they can tell the quality just by the demo quality. Now let's say let's say 2K has a good demo. There's still a possibility people won't buy it because they're satisfied with the demo, right? Or they play the demo and they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to skip out on the next 2K because I'm playing the demo and I don't see enough differences. It's extra effort to create this demo, and it doesn't exactly pull in enough sales, guaranteed sales, for 2K to justify creating and releasing this demo. And all you have to do is look at other games. 2K is not part of the exception. They're actually just following the gaming industry, that there is no demos for sports games. You're going to see betas and alphas closed and open for shooters, and indie games have a lot of early access releases. 2K is not going to be involved in any of that. Another thing is, chances are, if you don't have any interest in the game, you're not going to download the demo anyway, right? So who's the demo for exactly? The demo is for the people that can't wait a few more weeks, that need to get their hands on the game to make a judgment statement, right? It's fear of missing out. FOMO is a lot of that. I've heard people say that. I've heard legit quotes, source quotes from me listening to Twitter talks or Twitter spaces. I heard somebody say they don't want to miss out, or they fear missing out on stuff, and they just wanna get some gameplay. They just want to play something. They want to know. They want to be in the know, and they don't want to be left behind. is another term I've heard. Hype is a lot more powerful for getting people to get a game because it adds emotions into it. Even though it doesn't make any sense, that's what's driving a lot of the 2K community. I've seen people tweet just a spam demo, release a demo, release a demo. I've seen people change their names to demo. Like, there is no way that a demo would change your life like that. It wouldn't. The same people asking for a demo are the same people that are going to be buying the game when it releases. And that's something that I think people are not really understanding. So, yeah, I mean, a demo sounds good in theory, but it's bad in every realistic sense. A demo doesn't help anybody. It might help content creators. They'll be probably making videos out of the demo. But come on. It's not... A demo is not what people want. What people want is the game. If somebody said, hey, we can get the game out right now, people would want the game out right now. They wouldn't want the demo. People want the demo because the demo in their head sounds like a realistic thing that they can get instead of the full game. Anyway, that's all I have to say about demos. I'm tired of reading people asking about demos and player demos, player builder demos. Look, none of that is going to happen because the hype that's created right now and the people that have FOMO, all of that is helping towards sales. The pre-orders without any gameplay being out, which I think was like 2 weeks. It was at least a week where they released the game trailer with the pre-orders and no footage. Why did they do that? I already talked about that in a previous podcast. It's a marketing tactic that works very well. It works very well. And yeah, a demo would just not, it would not help, right? So the only time that there's like a demo is when you bring in content creators to a community day or something similar. You get celebrities to play the game, or you get, whoever to play the game a little earlier, because then those people have massive followings on the internet, and then their word gets out. Guess what? Same effect as the hype effect. It's the same effect. So instead of releasing the demo to thousands, if not millions of people, release the demo to a select group of people. Select, because people that end up going to community events are selected, handpicked. You get these people in the group to play the game. They're going to come back. Most of them are not going to say bad things. They're going to say good things. They just got invited to a community day. They get, rewards here and there. They get some gifts. Not to mention, they get content made out of those hours that they had to test out the game. They get to record and bring that home with them. Look, 2K knows what they're doing, and there is not enough crying for a demo that's going to make a demo come true. Maybe if there's ever like a significant change in the NBA 2K game at its core, like the physics of the game, the engine, the main game engine of the game gets changed, and things are changing a lot, and they want like a huge feedback to see where they're at. Maybe a demo would come out then for like a 3v3 game that you get to play. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways that there might be a demo, but I really don't see a demo ever again happening with 2K, because they don't need it. It's extra effort. It's extra time that they need to put into something, and it doesn't help them enough. It's that simple. So, talked about the W, talked about the Courtside report with the W, talked about what 2K should do with the W players, and I talked about the demo and why there is never going to be a demo again. And I think that's 20 minutes, so that's good enough for this one. I will see you guys again, hopefully in a day or two. I'm going to try to be consistent with these podcasts even when there's no news. And I'm also looking to add more guests. I know that people like when there's guests. The podcasts end up being longer as well. So, yeah, do stay tuned and let me know if you've been enjoying listening to the NBA 2K podcast. I will see you on the next one.